Good day viewers, welcome to the Rock Stitches. Today I'll be teaching on how to cut the local wrap and the blouse, Yoruba and Buba. Here I'm having 6 yards of Ankara fabrics. Thank all my lovers, all my subscribers, all my viewers. I really appreciate you. Please like my video, subscribe, share my video, leave comments. It goes a long way for me. Thank you. I love you all. Stay tuned and watch till the end. From these 6 yards, the first thing I'll be removing is a wrapper, which is called Iro. And because my client is of average body size, I'm going to be removing an elderly woman. So I'll be removing 2.5 for the wrapper. I have cut out my 2.5 yards now. So after that, the next thing is to sew the hem. I will just sew around the hem. For this side, I will be holding this place in like this, like half and or quarter of an inch. I'm going to hold in quarter of an inch, just like this, and I will sew down. I will do the same thing to this side. Then for the side here, I'm going to hold in 2.5. After I sew down this edge and this end, the side end, I will be taking in 2.5 inches. So you can iron down to make it easy, and you can pin. Depends on how you like it. I'll be taking in 2.5 inches like this inches. I will tuck in half an inch. So what I'll be having left here is 2 inches, and that is what I'm going to do to the end. After holding it down like this, I'm going to sew down. I will do the same thing to this other side, and with that my Iro is ready. So from the left over, after removing the 2.5 for the wrapper, which is Iro, I remove 28 inches in fold, 28 in 2 places. You can see it's 28 inches. It is folded, so it is in fold, and I lay it. This is the right side here, and the wrong side here. So the next thing I'll be doing now, after having my 28 inches in fold, if you are taking a long strip, that will be 28 by 28, and that is 56. So in fold it will be 28. So after that, it is in fold, then I will fold this way. I will fold this way. Now I'm having 4 fold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I want to cut a peplum. So this 28 inches will be the length of my blouse. So if I'm measuring like this, I will have 28 inches as the length of my blouse. Then from this place, I'm going to cut out the horizontal measurement of the body. And for the horizontal measurement, I'm going to need the hip measurement alone. The hip measurement alone. The hip of the client I'm working with is 48. I'm going to add 4 inches for his allowance. That will give me 52. Now 52 divided by 4, I have 13. So I'll be marking out 52 divided by 4, that is 13. I will be marking out 13, then plus 1 inch seam allowance, so that will be 14 altogether. So I will be marking 14 down. After marking the 14 down, I'm going to cut. So now the next thing that I'll be doing with this is I'm going to mark out the neckline. So it's just like this. I'm going to mark out the neckline. After marking out the neckline, then I will cut the sleeve. For the neckline, I'm going to have 4 inches to this side and 3.5 inches depth. 4 inches length and 3.5 inches depth. And I will draw my curve. Okay, I told you that my client is a bit fat, so I'm going to take 4 inches. If the person is of a normal body size, or let me say small body size, I will take 3.5. But next thing now is for me to cut down. So when I open up, this is how it will look. And it's just as simple as this. The next thing is I'm going to use bias to bind this place, or to hem the neckline. I'll be using bias to hem the neckline. Now the next thing is to cut the sleeve. And in cutting the sleeve, I will need the sleeve length and the sleeve circumference. The sleeve length I'm working with is 20, while the sleeve circumference I'm working with is 17. This is a bit trickish. I will explain the easiest way. If you are trying to measure from your client, it is more easier when you measure from your client. So when you're trying to measure from your client, you start your measurement from this point, the center for the sleeve. You start your measurement from the center of the neck, the center bone. There's a bone that is usually here. You start from this center bone to the wrist of the client. You measure down to the wrist of the client. So whatever you are having, you will deduct it from the body's circumference. Let's assume when you measure your client from this center neck to the wrist, you arrive at 28. You know, when we were measuring our bodies, then from here to here you have 13. You're not going to add your seam allowance. The seam allowance is going in. So from here to here you have 13. And when you measure from your client from the center neck to the wrist, you have 28. So what you're going to know the amount of sleeve you're going to cut, you just deduct 28, 13 from 28, and that will give you 15. So that will be 28 minus 13. It will give you 15. Let me explain again. Let's assume you measure your client from the center neck to the wrist is 28. If you have the opportunity of measuring the client. So, and you have on your body, after using the hip measurement, you cut out 13, just like this. Our hip measurement was 48 plus 4 for his, that is 52, divided by 4. The body will be divided by 4. So divided by 4, we have 13. We cut out 13 plus 1 inch seam allowance. We are not going to add the seam allowance this time around. So we have 13 here. So this 13, you're going to deduct it, minus it from 28, and that will give us 15. I hope we get it. let's assume you don't have the opportunity to measure your client. You are just sent the measurement. You will be sent the measurement for the shoulder to shoulder. Now for this client, the shoulder to shoulder is 16. 16 divided by 2, I have 8 inches. So that goes for that. Then the sleeve of this client I'm working with, the sleeve length is 20. The blouse shoulder, after cutting my blouse, this will be the shoulder of the blouse. The blouse shoulder is 13. Let me repeat that again. The shoulder to shoulder of my client is 16. 16 divided by 2, which is half of the shoulder from this neckline to the shoulder. That is half of the shoulder to shoulder. So that is 15. That is 8. 16 divided by 2, 8. Now the sleeve length of my client is 28. Is 20, sorry. The sleeve length of my client is 20. So the back is 8, the shoulder to shoulder is 8, the sleeve length is 20, then the body's shoulder is 13. What we have here is the blouse shoulder. So the blouse shoulder is 13, or let me say half of the blouse shoulder, because this is half. If I open it up, that is the whole. Half of the back shoulder is 13. Now this 13, I'm going to deduct the shoulder, half of the shoulder, half of the original shoulder. The original shoulder of my client, shoulder to shoulder of my client is 16. So the 16, I divided it by 2. So I have 8, which is half of the original shoulder. Now the body, the blouse shoulder, I have 13 for the half of the blouse shoulder. So the half of the blouse original shoulder, I'm going to minus it from half of the blouse shoulder. That will be 13 minus 8. You can repeat the video to get how I get my 13 and my 8. Please, if you don't understand it. So we have 13 minus 8, and that will give us 5. Now this 5, I said the shoulder length is 20. This 5, I'm going to minus it again from my shoulder length, and that will give me 15. So in a nutshell, you can say sleeve length minus blouse shoulder minus original shoulder equals your sleeve length for the local blouse, which we call buba. So but in this case, you are not going to minus it directly. You first minus the blouse shoulder from the original shoulder, then the answer you get, you now minus it from your sleeve. So blouse shoulder is 13, original shoulder is 8. 13 minus 8 gives us 5. 5 minus 20 minus 5. 20 is the sleeve length. 20 minus 5 gives us 15. So for the sleeve, I'm going to be cutting out 15 inches length. Thank you. If you don't get that, you can just repeat the video. Now back to our dress. Here I have folded. The sleeve circumference of my client is 17. For his, I'm going to add 4. So 17 plus 4, that gives us 21. 21 divided by 2, because that will be half. I'm going to divide by 2 is the sleeve. So 21 divided by 2, I have 10 and a half. 10 and a half plus half inch for the seam, I'm having 11. So what I have here is just accurate. So what I have here is okay for me. So it's just accurate. I folded. This is the 2 edge. Then I fold this place and cutting the 2 sleeves together. Then after folding that way, I now draw my border line. So on this border line, I'm going to mark 1 inch or ½ inch for the seam allowance here. ½ inch for the seam allowance here. Then from this ½ inch, I'm going to mark 15 down, 15 inches down. So I'm going to mark 15 inches down. So after that 15 inches, then I'm going to mark out my hem. The hem I want to give the clothes, that is the turning hem. So for that, I'm going to be taking 3 inches to turn the hem, because I'm going to turn in the 3 inches. Let me cut out. I'm going to take 3 inches. So after this, I just cut it out. So this is where the opening is. I'm not going to cut from this edge. I'm going to cut from where the opening is. So I'm going to cut out. I have 1, 2. Then this one in fold. This one that is in fold is what I will be cutting to pieces to make my 2 sleeves. So at this junction, if I remove this, I hope you can see. This, if you don't get it, you can just go through the video again. I'm sure you will get it. So this is the first sleeve, the second sleeve. Then for this sleeve, this is what I will do. Turning to this is the wrong side. So I'm going to take my 3 inches this way. 3 inches this way, and I'm going to fold ½ inch in. So what I'll be having left will be 2½ inch. I hope you can see it. I'll be pinning it down this way. So after pinning it down, I'll just sew down. Then I'll bring it back. I will do the same thing to the second sleeve, and I'll bring it back. Then for the edge wrap, I'll be using these remaining pieces for my head wrap. So this is what I have after sewing. I'll sew down the hem. You can see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. So the next thing is just I'm going to give it a good press, and our wrapper is ready. After sewing the hem of the sleeve, I've sewn the hem of the sleeve. The 3 inches, I tuck in ½ inch. So I'm having 2 inch outside. You can see. So I'm going to go hold it this way. I've done the same thing for the second one. So I'm going to hold this way. I will sew down with ½ inch. I will take it to the machine and sew it down like this with ½ inch. Then after sewing it down, I'm going to notch this place. like so. Then I will do the other one also. So you can see I have sewn both sleeve and overlocked. Then the next thing now is I will turn to the right side. Let me keep this to a side. I will turn to the right side like this. Make sure the hem is at this end, then find the middle, and I will notch the middle this way. Then I will now come to my bodies. You see that my body is still folded the way it was. I will make sure that it is well aligned. I'm supposed to have notched it when I was cutting it out, but I can still do that. All I just need to do is to make sure that it is well aligned, and I will notch this side. So this is the center. I will notch it that way. Then to make this place equal, I observe that the hem is not equal, so I just need to trim it out. So after notching and trimming, then I will open it up this way. This is the right side, while this is the wrong side. So my sleeve is already turned to the right side. The next thing I will do is I will align the notch on the bodies. I will align it to the notch on the sleeve this way, and I will pin it down. Then from this notch, I will make sure I align it, pin down, to the end of the sleeve, or where the sleeve is joined, to where this sleeve is joined. So I will pin it down this way. Then I will do the same thing to this side, so that it will not stress me. I flip it to this side, then I will just align it together with the edge. Like this. And like this. So at this point, I will start my sewing. I'm going to take 1 inch seam allowance here. 1 inch seam allowance, or I can take 7.5, 0.75, sorry. I will take from this 0.75. I'm going to sew round. I will start from this point. I will sew round like this and come back to this point. So by the time I do that, I will be having something like this. So I'll be having something like this. So when I'm through with that, I will do the same thing to the other sleeve. So after joining the sleeve, this is what I have here. We are almost through. You see that our blouse is almost, our native blouse, Buba, is almost ready. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn to the wrong side. So from this point, we start as the armpit, where the sleeve end. I'm going to sew down from this point and leave about 5 inches here, 5 inches here. So I'm going to mark out my 5 inches. So I will sew it down to this 5 inches. I will do the same thing to this side also. I will sew down to 5 inches. Then after sewing down this side from the end of the sleeve to 5 inches, I will now take bias binding. Bias. I will be using bias to tape the hem of the neckline. So I'll be using bias to hem the neckline or to tape the neckline, whichever. So then I will come back and our dress, by that time our dress will almost be ready. So now after sewing the side, this is what I have. So the final step now is I'm going to take this place will be opened like this, then I will tuck in this. I will do the same thing to this side, and I'm going to sew, just take like 1/8 of an inch of the seam and sew it round this way. When I get to this junction, this side where the joining is, I will move up by 1/4 of an inch, then move to this side, do the same thing and sew it down. Then after that, I will now take 1/2 an inch. I will roll in 1/2 an inch, then use another 1/2 an inch to cover it and sew it down, and that will be the final stage. Then for the neckline, I have turned with bias. I will just fold this way. The bias, I sew it, I've top stitch, then I will just fold it like this in. Then I will use a hand needle and a thread to do invisible seam in a way that the seam will not show on this side, it will only be on the wrong side. Then I will show us the final look of our local blouse and wrapper, which is also called Yoruba Buba. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please don't forget to subscribe, share my video, like, comment. I love you all. See you in the next lesson. Bye.